This is an amazing Christ-Father combo when you talk about drafting. Lines and curves. That's essentially what all designs are. Straight lines and curves. It's either a line or a curve. And look at the roots of both of these words. This one goes to Christ, a line, and then curve goes to Father. This is a single plus 2 on the end of pure 3's. This is a single plus 1 on the end of pure 3's. So it's a famous Christ-Father pair. So this is Christ minus 42. And curve, oh my gosh, is Father plus 6. And just offsets of 6's from their respective names. Okay, and then what's glaring to me is that when you pluralize and talk about lines, now you've just added a multiple of 6 of 24. So now lines becomes minus 24 from Jesus. Curves is now going to come plus 18, or plus 30 from Father. See that? Because the ES adds 24 perfectly. Now you can also say, oh, I'm lining, or I'm curving. You can also say lined and curved, and those maintain offsets of 3's. But you see how the root, you solve the root, you take the glory for all the rest of them, which is keep the party going. Okay? Line goes to Christ, curve goes to Father. Okay? So then you put lines and curves together. It's a Christ-Father combo, lining and curving together, same thing, line and curve. But they're just such beautiful roots because they're pure 3's in front of a single plus 2 and a single plus 1. Okay, and I've talked about how all those words respectively, a single plus 2 declares Christ, a single plus 1 declares Father. And that's what we see in lines and curves. Now, you can draw whatever wisdom you want from that. I know that Father is on top, the name above all names. In nature, there are certainly more curves than there are lines. I mean, the sun itself, the life source of the planet, is a giant curve, just like the earth. And we know that earth goes to Father because earth is contained in the last 5 letters of Father, just like the word heart. And technically, when something is at the apex, like the top, the tip top of something is typically the top of a curve. Now, there's another famous word that has the same design. We call it an arc. In this case, amazingly, you have the pure 3's at the back and the single plus 1, which is A, at the front. Okay, the word apex parallels Father in the same way as arc. Okay, so there's all this suggestion of the top, you know, Father being on top. The apex, the vertex, the word apex, the word vertex all parallel Father. And to me, that's amazing though. And then if you want to be really cool and talk about one of the simplest thing you can put anywhere on a design is a single dot on the page. What's interesting to me is that this is just a Trinity experience. The D is plus 1 for Father. The T is plus 2 for Christ. In fact, being the T on the end of Christ, and then the O is like the O in Holy Ghost. So a single dot is like a Trinity glorifying experience. You know, Father, Holy Ghost, Son. Just like the word Son itself. But this is glaring to me. Lines and curves, Christ and Father. Okay, very fascinating. All right.